We just finished talking about re-rolling inside of Etheria Restart and pulling some of the SSRs and Light and Dark SSRs that you really want on your account. Today we're going to be talking about the targeted summon, when to use it, and who you should be focusing on from this targeted summon. This is a great starting point for you inside of the game, and it's one that you really don't want to mess up. Now, before we go any further, I want to remind you guys that this video was sponsored by Etheria Restart, and you can get 10 free additional summons by downloading the game by using this QR code or my link in the description. On top of that, it directly supports my channel. So thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. We have Hermes back on the channel today to talk about targeted summon. We're going to look at my personal account, what I may need to summon from this account, and which are the best ones for you to keep an eye on. So Hermes, this is an important topic. There are a lot of new players that look at the targeted summon and they say, oh man, I can get a guaranteed SSR and I only need to do 40 summons. We know that you get like 100 summons on your first day, if not more, when playing the game. So people will jump into this. Now keep in mind, at the point of recording this video, we are on day 5 of the game and we have still yet to pull anything from the targeted summon, and this is based off of strategy alone. We're going to talk about that strategy, which ones to pull, and when to pull them. Hermes, welcome back to the channel, brother.
Hey man, I'm glad to be back. This is I think it's a very, not necessarily controversial, but I think it's a very talked about topic simply because like this can really like boost your account,
Yeah.
or you can be sitting there and be like, oh my gosh, I just got this one off the targeted summons and now I pull it, in my off my permanent banner, and then it's like, oh, of course.
Yeah, 100%. And I know that when I was playing the beta and when you were playing the beta alongside of me, we were like, this is great, targeted summon, you could kind of jump in. And then we realized that this was something like a nice get out of jail free card for you. For example, on my account right here, our initial, and I'm kind of jumping ahead here, but Tiamat was a pretty important one for us, right? But then I was able to pull Tiamat on my account without even doing the targeted summon, allowing me to keep that targeted summon in my back pocket for a rainy day to pull an Animus that I may actually need after doing a couple of 100 pulls. So that's the initial discussion and thought process behind the targeted summon. Now let's talk about maybe how long should you wait? What does your account want to have to look like? I'm going to hand it over to you, Hermes. I know you got a lot to say.
Yeah, so I think it's a really difficult topic, right? Like, because like, you hear some people, they're like, oh my gosh, like, I pulled in 150, 200, and then on those first 2 days, and I just went in and got my targeted summons. There's some people like us that are going to probably wait about a week before we get our targeted summon in. And so it's really, it does, and this is where you have to kind of decide for yourself what is important for your account, right? Is it important that you have this one specific SSR, or are you willing to wait on that SSR for the chance to get an extra one, right? So
Mm-hmm.
on your account, I gave you the advice to wait on Tiamat and make sure you pulled in some more, um, pull some more prototypes to actually try to get her from the regular permanent summons.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did, right? We went on the video, we got that crazy, that was an awesome video, by the way. Um, but we were able to pull her in from that video, and so now you don't have to summon for Tiamat, you can go for somebody else instead, and that is super valuable.
Yep, I completely agree. By the way, I want to take a second. This is something I don't typically do. And I want to let everyone know that we have a union inside of the game and we are filling up very quickly. The union's name is Echo. Currently, we're at level 5 and we're pretty full on members, but we have a lot of requests to join. What we would love is to have some really serious members join up that are really looking forward to pushing the game on a daily basis. What I'd love for you guys to do if you want to join Hermes and I inside of here is request to join. If we don't get you in through there, you could always come through the Discord server. To get there, in the description of this, you'll see a link tree, which brings you to all of my links, and my Discord server is there. You can just message us then inside of that and inside of the Etheria Restart section, and we'll see that you're looking to get inside of here, and we could have that conversation. Plus, we could communicate in there for world bosses and things like that. All right, let's get back to this summoning related stuff. I just want to let everyone know that there was opportunity for them there as well. So yes, we were able to pull Tiamat. We were in a good position, saved us the targeted summons. So where is my account sitting at right now? That's probably what a lot of people are questioning. And why is Klaus floating on my screen?
Right. So we've had a conversation about this before, but the big first thing that I think people should really focus on is having at least one SSR damage dealer for all three of those main colored affinities. So that's your reason or red, your odd or your blue, and then your hollow or green. I think you should try to have at least one damage dealer for all three of those.
Hmm.
And if you're missing one, that I think is a very solid thing to put on your targeted summons. When we look at your account, I know that you have pulled, obviously, Leanne, everyone has with Leanne, so you kind of got that reason check mark, but then you've also pulled Hellkid. So you kind of have dual um, reason damage dealers.
Yeah.
So then you also, for Hollow or Green, you pulled Real Mocha, which she is awesome, right? Like I've seen you kind of running through some Doki Doki,
Yeah.
deleting in Nightmare right now. I think it's gonna be exciting when you push up into Hell, farming. But she's great. And then for Odd, you have Tiamat, but she, I feel, at least for me, has been a little underwhelming since she got nerfed. And so for your account, you might even be looking at pulling another one in, such as Rosa or Zada, um, and just to kind of fill in all those damage dealing roles that you would need to go up against any fight.
All right, so you're focusing here on damage dealers as primary, but what happens if someone has all of those damage dealers unlocked? What if they've got a damage dealer from each affinity? Is there anything that you would recommend after that, or is that really the primary focus that you would really be thinking about?
I would say after that, and again, everyone has their own opinion, everyone can do things their own way,
Of
but
course.
I think something else then to consider is there's two paths as well, right? There's your debuffer and there's your support. When it comes to debuffers, and you'll see it like on our on the target summon for you, and then was able to play with Kloss on my beta, so I really enjoyed her, and I know, and I think you would as well. And so with Kloss, she is an excellent debuffer, and I think a great Animus to have for both PvE and PvP content. And so I think she is another solid pick, and especially for that debuffing category. And then when you look at them as well, you've got then support, right? You've got support and then you've got healer. I think healer is a little iffy because you're getting Linglu on day 7 of your login, which we
Hmm.
have yet to get to. We're going to get to super soon since we started on launch. And then additionally, there's also Mia is another one that you're able to get as well. And I think both of those healers are great, and Mia is a one that you'd be able to get off that select summon. But I don't know if she's really as important as some of these other roles you're trying to fill.
So really, it's about everyone's account is different, right? Because everyone's account has different animus on them, and everyone has different needs. So, for someone that really digests the game and gets a good understanding of what their account looks like, who they have in each of those different roles, will probably have a pretty good idea of who they should be pulling out here. But let's make this super simple for someone that doesn't know anything about the game and they're here on day 2 or 3 and they're like, I want to use the targeted summon. What are some of the best ones, assuming that they have 0 of them? Which are some of the best ones for those people that don't have the patience to wait and have no idea what they're talking about? What would be maybe your top 3 that you would say, if you had none of them, you should pull in your account? I just want to make it simple.
Yeah. So I think first of all, Tiamat is really good for early game progression, right? She has a lot of support on her first form, and then she switches forms and becomes a damage dealer.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she is really good. If you have no understanding of the game, she can kind of make up if you make mistakes early on. She's able to kind of fill that gap to be a really good, solid early game, both support and damage dealer for your account. And she's a great all-arounder, especially for those people who don't necessarily understand the game. I think on top of that, another really good one is going to be Real Mocha, right? Real Mocha is an impressive damage dealer. She makes Doki Doki, which is one of, if not the most important spot to farm in the game as far as module drops.
Mm-hmm.
She makes that really easy to farm. And so I think she is another great one to use. And I think for number 3, if you have none of them and you're really looking, I would say, honestly, Hell Kid is another great one because he's another one of those. He's a big time damage dealer, but he brings a little bit of support between that attack down on his A2, stun on his A1, and he gives that special immunity shield on his A3 based on his attack. And I think all three of those are really great for progression. And you'll see the theme is damage dealer, right?
Yeah.
You really want to try to get some damage dealers in your account because you can fill in all the support roles as time goes on between the free ones you get and SRs a lot easier than you will those damage dealing roles.
Yeah, and to add on to that, the one unit that you should not get would be Ling Lu, because you're going to get her on day 7 of your login anyways. Would you agree with that? There's no reason to have duplicates of her
100%.
early stage. This would
You
probably
should
be your last choice.
you should never even consider her
Mm-hmm.
unless you're like an Uber Kraken and you have everything and you're just looking to empower her. But no, she should be your absolute last choice because you get her for free on day 7.
Yeah.
And I know a week into the game sounds painful, but when you get into it, like it's not going to be that bad. So I said just wait it out and you'll be all right.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you take a look at a couple of our summons videos, we've summoned hundreds of Animus, and we're only on day 5. And you could take a look at our account. I mean, I have a ton of two light and dark SSRs, a good handful of SSRs, and almost all of the SRs. And that's just because you play the game and you get so many. Etheria Restart is extremely generous with the number of pulls and summons that you could actually get. So that's, you're not even going to feel like you need the targeted summon, which is why it should be that get out of jail free card. But Hermes, for someone that's patient, that's waiting to see their account develop, when's the point when you say, okay, I'm just going to do something now because I'm getting all these Animus, I may as well do the targeted summon now? What's the point where you on your account or where I on my account are going to say, it's now time, I'm going to do the targeted summon?
Honestly, I think on day 7 when you get Linglu, I think that is a great opportunity because then what you're doing is you're bringing in two different units onto your account that can really help you out. I think it's a great spot because then you've also kind of pushed as far as you can on content because that's day 7 is probably right around when you're going to start getting if you've been doing like some pretty decent grinding, getting into those hell module drop stages.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's a really good spot to be at to kind of see, okay, what is the role I really need to fill in on my Doki Doki team, on my Aurora team, or on my Terramatan team, or on my shell farming team. And so I think that is a really good spot to be at. You get you get a healer, and then you can get either a support, damage dealer, or debuffer on the account as well. And then that's really kind of what will really progress your account.
Nah, man, I think this is great. I think a lot of people are going to watch this and have no understanding of which Animus are the most important. I think we gave a high-level description as to how people should be doing this, as well as an easy answer for people that are not interested in the long-term play. So thanks for coming on again as a guest and sharing with us your insight. I love playing alongside of you inside of the game, and I love having you in on the videos. Remember, guys, this video was sponsored by Etheria Restart, and what you should be doing is get your 10 additional pulls by scanning this QR code or my link in the description when you download the game. We'll see you back next time in tomorrow's video.